Mega Time Squad is a film from New Zealand. It is about a low-level criminal who undertakes a robbery on behalf of some gangsters he owes money to, and during the robbery, which takes place in a sort of old Chinese antiquity shop, think of Gremlins or something like that, but in New Zealand, he steals a bracelet. This bracelet has time-travelling powers. He discovers that by pressing the bracelet, he can jump back a few minutes in time and see events unfolding and take action to change them. When he jumps back, by the way, a la Back to the Future time travel rules, he still exists in the time that he's jumped back to, so there's a double of him. And obviously the more times he jumps back within time itself, the more copies of him there are. So within this, he ends up with a gang of like 6 or 7 of himself that they call the Mega Time Squad. He's not the sharpest tool in the box, but he uses this bracelet to go about trying to get the money back that he's stolen, resolve his problems with the gangsters, avoid a Chinese hitman whom he stole the money from, who operates for the gang that the money belonged to, and avoid a demon that is chasing him as a result of utilising this ancient time travel magic powers. And he's trying to get a girlfriend and keep his friends at the same time. This is a fun, low budget, funny New Zealand film. When I say it's a New Zealand film, it's because Kiwis have a certain sense of humour. It's like a British sense of humour, but skewed slightly. If you like Taika Waititi and things like that, he's from the same area of the world, it's that kind of humour. There's another film I want to talk about called Deathgasm, which is of a similar ilk when it comes to sense of humour. It's sort of dry but sarcastic and witty, and it all sort of centres around people in normal situations and normal settings. There's nothing too sort of Hollywood about any of these settings. Within this, the special effects of time travel are simple and good. You see him jump back. There's no sort of shoddy CGI on any of it. He just sort of blips in and blips out. The things when he's 2 persons or more on a screen look fine. There's no sort of obvious sign of matting or insertion of his character in there, and it just plays as a sort of hour-and-a-half fun romp. You can follow the time travel rules that it sets up in the environment, and it's got some very sort of silly, funny jokes in it. I think it's definitely worth watching. If you can see it, I imagine it will turn up on streaming shortly. I just paid for it on a streaming service for a quid a voucher for Google Films, so I just watched it on that. But yeah, Mega Time Squad. If you like time travel films, you want something funny and silly, then have a watch. And you got to work out at the end whether or not you would kill your own doubles in order to put things right in time. And whether you could trust yourself, because that's one of the big problems he has, is because he is a criminal and not very smart, he's never sure at any point if he can trust himself when he travels back in time, and it's just silly and funny. Mega Time Squad, definitely worth watching.